Here are solutions to homework set number 3 for ECE 111. This homework set looks at problems you encounter when you take trigonometry and how to solve them in Matlab. The first problem is adding vectors. Suppose I've got 3 vectors. So this is like I'm walking. I will walk 7 miles at 85 degrees. So this is x, here is y, x is 0 degrees. So 7 miles at 85 degrees, plus 3 miles at minus 22 degrees, plus 6 miles at 47 degrees. Where do I wind up? Well, one way to do that is to pull out the x's and y's. The x's add and the y's add. For the first vector, the x-coordinate is r cosine theta, 7 times cosine of 85. And here in Matlab, cosine d is cosine in degrees. Cosine is just cosine in radians. So anyway, this is the xy coordinate of the first vector. The second vector, pull out the xy coordinate. The third vector, pull out the xy coordinate. The x's add and the y's add. So that's where I wind up, at 7.4x, 10.2y. Now, one of the calculators they kind of push in this class is the HP42. HP is, or Hewlett-Packard is a company of electrical engineers, and surprise, surprise, they build really good calculators for electrical computer engineers. They're a little bit odd. They use a thing called reverse Polish notation. So with an HP calculator, let's get this out of the way, there is no equals button. To add, it uses a stack. So when I add 2 numbers, I've got to put them on the stack. For example, to add 2 and 3, I have to do 2, enter is the push command, 3. Those 2 numbers are on the stack. I can now add them. When I multiply by 7, I take 7. It automatically pushes it on the stack. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 divided by 4 is 8.75. This also works with complex numbers or XY numbers. If I go second modes polar, second modes rectangular, this complex lets you input a vector. So when I say what is x is 2, y is 3, complex, there's x and y. Technically it's stored as a complex number. We'll get to that later, but I treat that as x and y. I can also input a number in polar form. To go modes polar, I can say what is 7, enter 42, complex. There's the vector 7 at 42 degrees. And I know it's degrees because if I go under modes, I'm in degrees mode. So there's my first vector. The second vector, 3, enter negative 22. Now I can add these. What the HP is really doing is it pulls or adds the x component, adds the y component, and when you do that, what you wind up with is 8.7 at 24 degrees in polar. The third vector, 6, enter 47, complex, add. So there's my answer in polar coordinates, or mode rectangular, and got a different answer. So let's try that again. Modes, polar, 7, enter 85, 3, enter negative 22, add those, 6 at 47 degrees. There's my answer in rectangular mode, x and y. So anyway, if you're taking a test, HPs are really nice. The second problem, adding these vectors together. Again, the trick is to pull out the x and y component. X is our cosine theta, y is our sine theta. Do that for the first point, second point, third point. Add the x's, add the y's. Here's where I wind up. You can also do that with an HP calculator. Show you that again. With an HP, it would be 11, let's go modes, polar, 138, complex, 7, enter, negative 67, complex, add 10 at 57 degrees, complex, add. There's the answer in polar form and in rectangular form. Actually, the HP calculator is easier than Matlab for polar calculations. We'll be talking more about the HP later this semester. Problem 3. I've got those 2 points. Where is B relative to A? Or what is B minus A? This works out easier in Cartesian coordinates. Take the difference in x's, difference in y's, and that is where A is relative to B. In polar form, take the amplitude, square root of x squared plus y squared. Let's see. A is 7.5 meters away, and the angle, we've got to use the arctan 2, but there is no arctan 2 in degrees. This will give me the arctangent in radians, convert radians to degrees, at minus 172 degrees. So B relative to A, or A relative to B, is minus 172 degrees. Oops, this way, minus 172 degrees at 7.5. Problem 3. Matlab also has plotting. You can plot in rectangular, well, plot uses rectangular coordinates. There is a polar command. I personally prefer just plot. If I want to plot a function like r is 2 sine theta plus 3 cosine theta, I'll first input theta. Let's go from minus 2 pi to plus 2 pi, steps of 0.01. So that created 1,200 points-ish. Calculate r, and then plot them. Now plot doesn't plot polar, it plots rectangular. So pull out the x value, r cosine theta, pull out the y value, r sine theta. I've got to use the dot notation to tell Matlab to treat that as 1,200 separate calculations. Don't do matrix operations. Then plot them, and what you get is a circle. Trig functions are all about circles. Give it a different function, like cosine theta plus sine of 3 theta. Here's theta, here's r. Find the x value, find the y value, plot x versus y. I get the letter j that's flipped. Or this function, cosine theta plus cosine 2 theta over 2 plus cosine 3 theta over 3 plus cosine 4 theta over 4, semicolon. Pull out the x value, pull out the y value, plot them, and I get this shape. Kind of looks like a clown nose. I'm not sure what else that would be. One of the applications of polar rectangular is robotics. Suppose I've got a robot. The first link is 2 meters long. The second link is 1 meter long. And the third link is 2 meters long. If I specify the joint angles, where's the tip? Well, this guy right here is the first link. That's theta 1. The second link, relative to the first link, is theta 2. And the third link, relative to theta 1, is theta 3. And note with angles, counterclockwise is positive, clockwise is negative. Kind of rule of thumb, anything English is wrong. So English clockwise is actually backwards, it's negative. I'm going to write a subroutine. I'm going to pass theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, convert to radians, and then calculate. Here's the first joint, second joint, third joint. I could also use cosine d, sine d, keep everything in degrees. Either way works. And then plot them. Here's the x value of the 0th joint, first, second, and third joint. The y value, 0th joint, first, second, and third. And then scale the axis. What I can do with that then is say, okay, here's my angles, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees. Where's the tip? Call this, and the x value is minus 0.2, y value is 3.28, and here's the robot. So here's the origin. The x value is right here, slightly negative, and the y value is up 3.2. So here's link 1, link 2, link 3, 2 meters, 1 meter, 2 meter. Suppose I try the angles 140 minus 80, 70. So here is 140 degrees. This is minus 80. And this is minus 70. Where wind-up is right here. That is about 1.2. It's actually 0.9375, 1.8043. That's called forward kinematics. Forward kinematics is actually pretty straightforward. Given the joint angles, find the tip position. For forward kinematics, you just grind it out. There's closed form solution, bunch of sines and cosines, add them all up, and get the answer. That's called forward kinematics. The hard thing is inverse kinematics. Suppose I know the tip position, what joint angles put you there? Now what I could do is I've got that RRR command, keep on guessing until I get the answer right. That's actually really hard because this is pretty nonlinear. The joints keep changing. Well, it's got sines and cosines. Trying to go to a point is not trivial. This is where the Matlab command fminsearch really shines. So for example, here's the RRR subroutine in Matlab. I did it in degrees, so I didn't have to convert. Same idea though. I can now, once I have that, save it. If I try to run it, I'll get an error. You cannot run subroutines. What the problem is when I try to run it, it doesn't know what theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 are. I can call it though. So let's do RRR, let's return to position. X, Y is RRR of 10, 20, 30 degrees. That draws the robot. That's where it is. And also drew the 0.32. That's leading up to the last problem. I'm trying to get that to be close. So forward kinematics is straightforward, given the angles. Find out where it is. Inverse kinematics is, I want that to be 3,2. How do I get there? So what I could do is kind of guess. Let's say this is 50 degrees. That's pretty good. Let's increase theta 1. Make that 15 degrees. Okay, maybe too much. 14 degrees. 13. I can guess again. Or there's a function in Matlab called fminsearch. Fminsearch tries to find the minimum of a function. So the challenge is try to come up with a function that returns a minimum when I'm at 3,2. That'd be something like this. I'm going to call problem 7. Fminsearch wants a single variable. It can be a 3 by 1 vector, but it wants a single variable to optimize. That's going to be theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. I'll call RRR, and then find the distance to 0.32 and return the distance. So if I try that, I can say problem 7 of 10, 20, 30. And what that did is, here's the position, 10, 20, 30. I missed my target by 0.44 meters. Okay, let's make that 40 degrees. Better. 50 degrees. Ooh, really close. 11 degrees. Guess again. Or let Matlab guess for you. So here I'm going to say ZE. Z is the answer, E is the error. I'm going to call fminsearch. The function I want to minimize is problem 7. And here's my first guess. And what it's going to do, it's guessing. Tries to figure out what minimizes the result. Found an answer, and from here it says the answer is, drum roll, eventually kicks out. There, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. And I can check that. Here's the first one, here's the second angle, here's the third angle. If I do that, I'm at 3,2. Now there's actually an infinite number of solutions. I've got 2 constraints, x and y, 3 degrees of freedom. Anytime you have more degrees of freedom than constraints, there's an infinite number of solutions. So we say let's go 45, 55, 65. If that's my first guess, fminsearch is going to try to figure out how do I get to 0.32. You can see it guessing. And eventually comes up with an answer different than what I had before. The answer depends upon your initial guess. That's fminsearch. Fminsearch is a really useful tool. If I ever want to find function equals 0, that's Newton's method. what we did back in homework set number 2. If I have a different problem, if I can set it up so that the answer is a minimum at my answer, I can use fmin search. And the trick here is pretty common. I find the error and then return the sum squared error. When the sum squared error is 0, it matches up. That is homework set number 3 for ECE 111, using Matlab and trigonometry to solve various functions.